10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. I'm glad to be here with you. We are thankful that you are here with us on this August the 12th, Tuesday, August the 12th. Was it? Yeah. Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025, right here in Greater Sudbury on CKLU 96.7 FM on terrestrial radio. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca on the internet. And that's where you can stream us if you click on the Radio Player Canada app. If you download the same Radio Player Canada app, you can take us with you and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. While you're at CKLU's website, just look at the merch that we got there for you to purchase. You got great t-shirts, mugs, hats, you name it. And if you don't need it or you already have it, if you just click on the Donate Now button, we really appreciate any donations that you're able to make. And it is because of you that we are able to continue. You put the U in CKLU, basically. It is volunteer driven. It is financially supported by citizens of this great city. And we hope to continue keeping the airwaves open and the lights on thanks to you. So while you're there, make sure to just click the donate button. And so thanks for that. We're also streaming live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel and the page, and mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen for those watching, read for those listening. Today, we have some special guests in the green room waiting to come on, and that is, we've had them on a few times in the last few months, and we're going to just have a follow-up conversation with Bob Johnson, Tom Price, and I know that our listeners and our viewers appreciate them and all the hard work they do for our city and want to hear the latest of what they're kind of up to. After the show will be found on demand on those two platforms, YouTube and Facebook, as well as x.com/Sudbury News and Sudbury.news, which is our local news aggregator. But first, let's just dive into a little bit of weather, and then we'll have news headlines and your comments as we just go through briefly a few things that are in the news locally, and then we'll get our guests on, Tom and Bob. So we'll be back right after this. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show, I promise, or your money back. And as usual, weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. I just have to click on the weather on my screen, and we have it right here with another heat warning. Can you believe it? So hot these days, it's incredible. And you know what to do with a heat warning, right? If you have any breathing problems or not, the heat can do a lot of damage. So you have to be aware of it, prepare for it, and take all the necessary precautions. I know even with our vehicles, if you run your vehicle in extreme cold or extreme heat, that's when problems happen. So even if you limit your driving or just make sure you got enough fluid in your rad, you got your oil change has been done, anything that needs to be done in terms of how the heat can affect your car. Your body is similar to a car. It's a machine type of thing, right? So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you have a hat on. Make sure maybe even dress in layers. It is what it is, but today it could be, at the moment it's 20 degrees, so it's already hot. It's going to be up to 29 degrees today. 30% chance of showers early in the morning with a risk of thunderstorm. The high will be 29 With the humidex, it'll be 36. UV index 7 are very high. And then tonight, mainly cloudy, 60% chance of showers, risk of thunderstorm. So again, when you have this extreme heat and then you get rain, also you could have some extreme weather as well. So tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, high of 25, humidex 30. So we're going to have 7 degrees cooler tomorrow. And then onward in the week, it gets a little cooler. So 25 tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud. 23 and sunny on Thursday. 25, mix of sun and cloud on Friday. 27, 30% chance of showers on Saturday. 23 on Sunday. 23 on Monday. Mix of sun and cloud for both of those days. That's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We're back with a couple news headlines locally, and then we'll dive into our special guests, Tom and Bob, this morning. We'll be back right after this. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. And we have a great show always when we have Bob and Tom on as we discuss local issues, whether it's the most vulnerable in our community or it's how the community is spending our tax dollars and what we've done and what we're looking to do with those tax dollars in the past and in the future. It's always a great discussion, as a lot of us don't really pay attention to the details, and something that Tom especially looks into is the details. And so I just want to give a few morning shout outs to Nana. Good morning to you. We got Evelyn on here. Good morning. You're not late. You're right on time. Brian, good morning to you as well. Judy, good morning. Monique, good morning to you. Good morning, Sudbury. Smiley emoji with the shades. Gotta love that one. And Sylvia, good morning. Another hot day. Yes, stay cool and hydrated for sure. Pat, good morning to you. Hazel, good morning. Prayer emoji, much needed and much appreciated. Belinda, good morning. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let that be you. Double heart emoji. There'll always be someone who can't see your worth, and don't let that be you. For sure. Really great statement this morning, Belinda. Such a pleasure to see and hear what you have to say. That's to Tom and Bob this morning. And blessings, everyone. Denise and Liette from Collingwood, good morning to you as well. And you have Trevor here. And always has the, he's always on top of what's going on, trying to keep people accountable around the world and locally. Remember, all of your officials locked you down during the great pandemic of 2020 to 2022. And we see photographs of them enjoying family dinners, weddings, and social gatherings. Yeah, exactly. There was rules for everyone else except for the very elite of the world. Nothing changed there. It's always been the same throughout history, and we're seeing history repeating itself as it always will. There's no doubt about it. So thanks, guys, for checking in. We are going to, the heat is brutal. That is Liette in Collingwood. And Belinda says, pray for Nova Scotia that they stand up to the tyranny. Get your fight on. That's for the $25,000 fine for going for a hike in the woods. And Northern Hillbilly, good morning, people. Miles is on. Good morning to you. And let's see. We're going to get Bob and Tom on here. And I'll look at some of the headlines as we go through speaking with Tom and Bob this morning. If there's anything here of note, of worthiness, I'll bring it in. But in the meantime, I just want to welcome Bob here first. And good morning, Bob. How are you today?
Great. You?
Oh, I better put my earphones on. I'm used to doing my show without earphones, but when I have a guest, definitely need earphones. And so hopefully today we'll be able to get an update on what's going on. You work really closely with the vulnerable in the city, whether it be the homeless or the people struggling with mental health or addictions. You've been pretty vocal on social media as of late, giving people updates and things. So what's the latest, Bob? What do you got going on?
Well, I started working on stories of your shoes, and 17 out of 20 people are in desperate need of help. Now, I'm going to back that up by a story, or not a story, a situation that's happened since last Monday. Last Monday, I got a family call in concern of their brother looking and having severe mental health and schizophrenia. I went out to a location. I picked him up. I brought him to the hospital, and he was admitted. It was last Monday night. This doctor, and I'll say his name, Dr. Pino, because he was fabulous. Went through all this guy's records, stated that yes, it's a crisis. He's got to be admitted. He's in dangerous shape, so on and so on. I said, great. I go home that night. I get up the next morning, and some doctor walked in, gave him some meds, and told him to leave. From there, he lit a fire in a basement. Nothing done. He was swinging a knife around in a parking lot. Nothing done. Walked into a grocery store, stole 18 beer. Then I was at the liquor store. Sorry, I was at Tim Hortons. He was there. He went to the liquor store. I thought he was going to the washroom. And he comes out cracking open drinks. But he's got no money. Okay? Back to the hospital we go. Oh, there's nothing wrong. Release him. Release him. I don't know anymore what they got to do to get help. Come on. Fire, theft, knife swinging, everything. And we've gone nowhere. Nowhere. The system is so broken everywhere. And it's just so frustrating that I don't even know what to do anymore. He ended up on Pine Street at a recovery, and I won't say the name. And he was there for one night. He was there Friday night, and he was released Saturday morning. So, of course, I wanted to catch him before he got released, so I headed there. He was long gone. But there was a patient in the middle of Pine Street in yellow socks in a hospital robe. And I'm going, oh my God, these poor people. Yesterday, driving, I got a text. I look, I'm going up Elm Street. The same guy, but he's wearing running shoes in his hospital robe down by Shoppers Drug Mart on Elm Street. The city has to get together. And I've called every level of government. And the only one who called me back personally was Jim Belanger. And thank you, Jim. We know you're new here in the Sudbury region. But he had great concerns. The other ones, where are they? Then I'm talking to staff, city staff, and they can't answer any of my questions because they're told not to talk. Are you kidding me? You can't talk about roads, you can't talk about life, you can't talk about nothing to the public. Now, where did this order come from? Is that councillors stating this to them? Or is it the management stating this to them because they're scared that they're going to lose their job?
Yeah, I don't think it would be counselors saying it to them. As far as I know, all of the staffers of the city are the ones that are here year in and year out, and they're very organized. They have a long-standing, they have, they've been employed for many, many years. Counselors come and go. So, the city is pretty staunch in their beliefs and how they run things and stuff. That's how the city's really run. The councillors are just around to kind of answer questions and vote on things. And a lot of times they're not all informed. They get informed by the people that are employed from the city. And so I would think that would be coming right from, well, unless it's the mayor, who would tell people to basically, not say anything. But I would even say it's more than likely just city employees.
So I called Canadian Mental Health on last Thursday. They were closed at 2:00. I called the Kirkwood residents down at Kirkwood Drive behind the hospital, and you get transferred to North Bay because half of the facility is North Bay and half is Sudbury. Okay, So I called North Bay. And I said, can you transfer me to Sudbury? Sure, no problem. Okay, so they transfer me to Sudbury. Hi, you've reached blah, 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 and I won't be back till August the 11th. Please leave a message.
Yep.
How many cracks are there out there before people realize that we're in serious shape?
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah, no, things aren't getting any better anytime soon. Doesn't seem like there's any real solutions in the works, and things are only going to be getting worse. That's what the indications look like. I'm not being even pessimistic. I'm just looking at the way reality looks. And services, mental health especially, right? If you need help right away, like this individual does, and you just explained the process of what they went through when they need help, this is what happens. You're given some drugs and you're saying, okay, good luck with that. Hopefully everything works out for you. And then you basically go out and try and exist in society somehow. And you don't have any social safety nets or anything like that. And so you just cry out a little bit, what are you going to do? You don't have much money, or you don't know how to, you don't have the skills or the ability, or you don't have a home base to kind of give you some stability. And so you're just kind of out there trying to survive basically. So you go into the store, you grab something and leave with it because, you need to eat. And so, you've committed a crime now, and it just snowballs from there. Right. And
Well, exactly. But why can't, I don't understand how many crimes you got to do before something's done.
Yeah.
And even the probation officer, I went down and through that, and there again, we only get a certain amount of information due to under the Mental Health Act. And then what I did, believe it or not, was we went to the courthouse and we got the Justice of the Peace to give us a paper stating that he has to go in for assessment. I bring it to the police station. I serve them the papers. I stated, call me when there's an issue where he goes to the hospital, because he trusts me very much. And that's what he needs. No call, was at the hospital. He was released again a couple hours later.
For sure.
Now, so what do we do?
And what do we do? You talk to doctors and they're kind of like, they're only doing whatever they can do, I guess, when a patient comes to them, and their hands are sort of tied in a lot of ways. They can get some tests. They can prescribe some drugs. They can assess
But when
them.
a doctor's see that it's a serious situation,
Yeah.
and it's not safe for him or others to be out on the street,
Yep.
and another doctor comes in 12 hours later and releases him
Yep.
without reading any records,
Yep.
No. So like I said, I don't know anymore what's what.
So do we have enough? So let's say, how many, again, the numbers, like how many people do you think we have on our streets here, and how many of them are suffering from mental illness? And do we even have the facilities or the infrastructure to handle the amount of people that there are? Let's say, you go into the hospital and you're going through a serious mental health crisis, and you need to be held there. So you need a bed, you need a room, you need the infrastructure, you need the space, you need the manpower, you need all these things. And so
that is cool.
Do we even have that?
Now we're always full.
That's what I mean. So
what do we do? We send them home on the street.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it, but our choices is Kirkwood should be Sudbury's and only Sudbury's, okay? And we have to open up a mental health and addiction service of the North, and we have to build it up where all our doctors for mental health and addictions and counselors are down at the base of the bottom of this, and we build up with residents. Because this way here, it would free up our hospital and our doctors by 8 to 10 hours every day. It's the only common sense what's around.
For sure. And that's looking at being the Band-Aid and being the medicine for the problem, which is societal and infrastructural and our society is breaking down. So it's like if there's cracks in the dike of our society and water's coming in, and we're saying we got to get mops, we got to get buckets, we got to get trucks that, so, and that's where you're at. And thankfully so, you're there getting the mops and the buckets and trying to rally the troops and whatever. And so where I come from is also part of that, but I'm like, okay, but if we fix the dike, if we fix the dam where the cracks are coming from and the water's coming through, we may not need all of the mops and the buckets and the trucks and all these things, right? And so, but I think the two of them have to be done in tandem, because while there's the cracks, you still have to solve the problem the water's causing, the societal problems, you got to deal with them. But at the same time, you need to be dealing with where it's coming from in the first place. So both of the issues.
Exactly. Another thing I want to bring up, and people are tired of me here saying it, is the washrooms downtown, okay? From 8 at night to 8 in the morning, there's no washrooms for anybody downtown, okay? Now, when you're walking around with 30-degree weather and you got soil in the back of your pants or urine in the front, okay? Yep. Mm-hmm. How bad is that? That's not even human, okay? You put in a couple washrooms again downtown, like I've always said, and bring up the self-value of these people and make them feel human, you're going to go far. To throw them in the bush and let them rot, what are you accomplishing?
But is a washroom a basic necessity of life for humankind?
Well, it sure ain't the buildings in the streets downtown where you think you're going to build a $500 million arena.
Like, I think just common sense would tell you, just for sanitary purposes of the city, you would want to have a couple washrooms downtown, right? Because now you mentioned it's people would be doing it in their pants, but if I was me, I'd be like, I'm just going to go find a spot somewhere and do my business, right? And is that sanitary? As far as I know, diseases and things could start spreading, and it's not a good thing for anyone in the city. So you'd think they would accommodate that, at least the basic sanitary, problems of the problems that we have with our most vulnerable, at least give some of the services that they would need. And starting, I think, at the basics, which is food, clothing, shelter, and a bathroom, I think would be along those lines as well, along with those things.
So the 17 out of 20 people I've talked to so far, with the story of your shoes, like I said, 17 want help. Most of it's caused from dysfunctional families and mental health, and then the mental health triggers to the addiction because that's their survival. So what I'd like to do before I pass it over to Tom Price is I'd like to call out all 12 councillors and the mayor to come for a ride with me for 1 hour of your time to see these people and talk to them and see what it's all about. And if you care, you'll do it. If you don't care, you're not going to do it. But all I can say is I'm harmless, and I can show you guys something what you guys probably don't have a clue on. So if you don't have any questions, AJ, I'll pass it over to Tom.
Well, I think that's a great suggestion and a great invitation, Bob. And I hope that some of the city employees or the councillors, whoever are involved in decision-making that have to do with these types of things, would take you up on that offer, because it's only going to educate and it's only going to help them make decisions, right? If that's what they're there to do, is make decisions who are going to affect the most vulnerable. And then by the decisions that affect the most vulnerable also affect everyone else in the city. So they're making decisions that affect people's lives. And you would think the more research they did, and ground level research, boots on the ground, they would help them in their decisions. And I think if you're there day to day doing these things, it would only be positive if they were to take you up on that. And maybe you guys can even go for lunch after or something.
Right. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Bob, and keep up the good work, and keep letting us know the information that you're gathering there as far as the new project is concerned.
And one thing before Tom comes on is The people on my Facebook page, because I got lots, I got thousands, who state that I'm whining, no, I'm caring, okay? And number two, I have the facts and I have the proof on my phone for pictures. I just don't shoot my mouth off. These are proven facts. And here's Tom Price. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. And while we're getting Tom here, I just want to let everyone know too that there's a bit of a rift between what Bob is doing and what the councillors and city are doing, and we're not sure why in particular. Maybe it's just personalities or whatever, but my hope is that we can all get on the same page, because if we are able to do that, we can utilize everybody to help the city's most vulnerable, and then help everyone else in the city as well, as we all get on the same page. And we all want to live in this city, obviously, and we all want to live in a nice, clean, vibrant city, I would hope. And, the more we care about our fellow human beings, the more that we can accomplish that. So with that, Tom, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing just great. And you?
I'm doing not too bad. I got your news release yesterday. Thanks for that. I don't know if you wanted to speak in particular about that and some of the new things of what you've been up to. I'll give you the opportunity, and then we'll have a little conversation.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to comment on the washrooms downtown. One of the keys of any engineering project is to address the waste products. If waste products back up, you're out of business. And if you don't believe that, try impacted constipation. It will kill you if not dealt with. So you have to deal with the waste product, and our city refuses to do so. What the heck does it cost for a portable toilet in 2 or 3 locations downtown? But that insults the elite's vision of our downtown, and that's all it's about. Our elite would be insulted to see a porta potty on the street corners for the homeless. Oh my God. Anyhow, these same elite are running.
So what have we been hearing from the city in terms of why there are no restrooms or washrooms or just facilities for this basic necessity?
Nothing. Any question they don't like, they just don't answer.
Okay.
Okay. And we've seen that on the event center. Okay. We gave them 8 different topics that we wanted information on. They've still not responded. We've gone another route. We've given them a copy of a presentation we're going to be making soon to the public and asked them to comment on it before we do that. We've had no response in a week and a half. Okay? They do not want to deal with anything except their agenda. So
I was in North Bay, 2 weeks ago? On our way down to Bracebridge, we went to Santa's Village, so we took the little guys along. And on the way, we stopped in North Bay, and we thought, well, North Bay has a nice little waterfront thing, and it's really family friendly. And so they have 2 carousels there, 2, one smaller, one larger. They have a mini train made for the small kids kind of thing. It goes really slow, and each thing costs $2. So $2 to get on, and you're on there for a few minutes, and it's a lot of fun. It's really fun for the little guys. My little grandson just couldn't get enough of it. And they have a really nice waterfront. They have, all of the, it's a little bit carnival theme, but it's small, just a couple things, but enough. They have a boat that was turned into a restaurant right on the waterfront. They have a place for ice cream. They have the Beaver Tails guys there, and they have about 8 porta potties all side by side right there. And it's right in the downtown. So we were able to go there. It's all clean, beautiful, family friendly. It was very busy, but yet not overly busy. It was perfect. And I was like, why couldn't Sudbury do something similar to this, like family friendly thing that's just, it was run by volunteers. It was just exactly what you would want a city to have. And patrons could use the porta potties, but also the city's vulnerable. It's right downtown. So they also know where those porta potties are. and they're able to use them as well. So it killed two birds with one stone, to not come up with another, saying or whatever. That's what it did. And why can't we do these types of things here in this city?
Because anything that works anywhere else won't work in Sudbury is the claim, and they make sure it doesn't.
But what's the reasoning? What's the reasoning for stuff like that?
Well, hot end place resurfacing of roads works everywhere else, but it won't work in Sudbury. So they made sure it didn't. They terminated the pilot project before he completed. That's just one of the many things. We've got the python. Well, the python can't work in the wintertime because it's a snake and it needs warm weather. It's a cold-blooded creature. Bull. I've had word from people who can operate that type of equipment, and they said, give it to us for 24 hours and we'll have it performing.
Do we even have one? Has anyone ever seen it?
Yes, we do have one.
Okay.
But it's parked most of the time, all right? Now, but that all depends too on how you repair the pothole and if you acknowledge why the potholes. And in our presentation that we're going to be given, I have 6 different examples of potholes that have nothing to do with frost freeze-thaw cycles. And what did our former manager of infrastructure and investments always say? Well, what's the freeze-thaw cycles? We can't do anything about that. Well, we did do something about it. He's not there anymore. Let's see what the new guy does. Let's see what he says. Maybe we need all new guys or new people. I know we definitely need new people on council, the entire council. So, and that's what we are working now towards for next October. We want an election that brings in 12 people who, even if they don't know the topic they're deciding on, do know enough to seek people who do know and find out. That's what we need next year. People elected to council and mayorship who, if they don't know, they have the brains to find someone who does know and get the details. So that's my little rant for this morning. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I already kind of chipped in there at the beginning about my, travels and seeing other cities and how they're able to get things done, but just scratching my head as to how Sudbury is an anomaly, really. The more I see other places and I come back home, I love the nature. I love the lakes. I love the geography. I love the history of the fact that it was hit by a meteor millions of years ago, and it was part of depositing, some precious metals and things that have created an industry here. And it's got a sexy history in terms of things like that. But ultimately, someone should do a study. I know they just recently, the Fraser Institute did a study on our economy and just this idea of going into debt, like we're going to be doing, and we're going to be the most in-debt city in all of Ontario, and it's going to cost taxpayers obviously a lot of money. We'll be all $3,333 individually in debt due to this, which is the most out of any municipality in Ontario, which is one of the most in-debt provinces in Canada and one of the most socialist. And so we have just had that report, but it'd be interesting to have more of a study on just the dynamics of Sudbury. Like maybe that would tie into why the city's not able to actually do simple things like other cities are able to do, and do it properly and do it in a effective manner, in a accountable manner to the taxpayers and all of these things, right? So I have a few, ideas myself, and I think, and this might come out of left field, but I think because we're bilingual, it adds a whole other layer of financial burden upon taxpayers. And I think we saw in Laurentian University a little microcosm of what's going on in the city itself, with all of the management that they had there and all of these top paid positions and managers and assistant managers to the managers. And then you got the one person at the bottom doing the work. Everyone's getting paid these large salaries, and as the Ontario as Ontario looked into it after they went bankrupt, they saw all these things where there's just a lot of people. So you have to have a French version, and then you have to have an English version kind of thing. You have to have the francophone manager over here, and then you got the English manager over there to run the same programs, and they're both being paid. So you have that, and then also there's different people vying for different agendas. You have the francophone side vying for this, and then you have an English, and then you have the working together, which is actually the French, because when you have them working together, you need a French manager because you need someone who speaks both languages. And so you have this little tug of war of culture going on underneath stuff that has a cost. There's a cost to that. I wish someone would do the evaluation of that, because there is a cost. And I wonder, even in just getting things done in the city, how that affects things, and if that's been one of the things that have stopped us. And then, is it because we're a mining town? Is it because, we don't, I don't know. Is there a certain mentality we have that people say, oh, we're just a mining town, so it's that mentality. So I've heard that. So these are all just questions I have as to what I just observe, and that's, we just can't get anything done. And so I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sure you have lots to say about that.
Not really. They've said it all already. They've demonstrated exactly what you're saying. They're not prepared to do it. They're not prepared to make it happen. I've worked with my bilingual work crews, not just French and English, East Indian, Czechoslovakian, Polish, Chinese, hardly speak English at all, learning English on the job site. Okay? We got along famously. We got the work done. We got it done efficiently, correctly. We didn't have to have a translator there. Like, I've been to restaurants and hotels in Italy where they didn't speak any English and I didn't speak any Italian. Guess what? I had one of the best meals I've ever had in Italy. The chef in the place cooked me some octopus fresh out of the Caspian Sea. Okay? It was delicious. And everybody was happy, but neither of us spoke the other's language, but we understood each other. You can overcome those obstacles very easily in a workplace. So it's simply because our politicians don't want that to happen. They want to have an excuse for their own malpractice.
But why? What's the difference between Sudbury's politicians and other cities' politicians? I would think that's just something that would be universal, that everyone would be the same.
The people we elect. We've got to do better as an elector. The people we elect have demonstrated. The majority of our council right now has been in there for 3 terms. They keep making the same bad decisions, to the point now where we're facing a $600 million debt by 2007. That doesn't include the 600 million. That doesn't include the 300 million in interest that will have to be paid on that. So the total debt is closer to $1 billion. And we let them keep doing it. Well, if we're going to let them keep doing it, they will keep doing it, because they don't care. They're getting paid enough that they can pay the bill, because we're paying them enough to pay the bill. The same with the staff in the city. How many workers in the workplace in Sudbury come even close to what the city workers are getting paid?
Well,
I can tell.
Yeah, the public sector is in way better position than the private sector is in terms of wages and in terms of how many new jobs there are per year, and the size of I don't even want to call it an industry. How could the public sector be an industry when it's just taxpayers paying for it? I don't even understand how that even happens. But in a socialist government, that's what happens. The government just gets bloated and, just keeps.
Well, as I said, it happens because of who we elect. If we keep electing the same people or the same type of people, why would you expect anything different? That's the definition of insanity.
For
Keep
sure.
doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. They're not going to give us different results. We've got to make a massive step change. The public has got to look for candidates who, if, as I said, they don't need to know everything, but who are smart enough that when they don't know, for example, okay, and this is a beautiful example. The market area for the event center goes all the way to the Hudson Bay coast, 950 kilometers away. That's the market area. Give me a break. Was there not even one counselor on our council who said, hey, this is nonsense? Get a market area that represents the true market area. Where's your study that determined this? None of them asked that question. Do the people in that area even know that they're part of the market area? Most of that area is populated by indigenous nations. Do those nations even know that they're going to be targeted to be the customers that come to the event center to finance it? No, they don't. That's just absurdity. They knew that would not get public exposure, so that was acceptable. They had 550,000 people in that area. Hey, that's enough to justify the event center. It doesn't matter that none of those people can come. Like 75% of that area has no roads. So they're going to fly to the hockey games? They only have one train. The train that goes to Moosonee. And it wasn't even running for a period of time.
Yeah.
But our councillors accepted that market area.
There's the thing,
and we're
too.
still working on that market area.
Yeah, we don't have competent, I don't think, people that have the history of these types of things to know how to run things, how to do a big project like this. You know, they just don't have the history, the experience. They don't have, that's not the background they have.
No, sorry, AJ, you don't need the background to know that market area is a pile of crap.
Well, yes, you do in a way. You need. So let's say someone who's familiar with business plans, right? So someone who's put a business plan together, someone who knows the ins and outs of a business plan and knows how to analyze things because they have the background and that's something they've done in their profession. I'm just saying like yourself, right? So then you do see these things. But if you don't have that kind of background, you come from whatever, you've been a social worker or something your whole life, and that's great. But then you come in, now you're making business decisions for a large corporation, and you're tasked with learning on the job of knowing how to interpret these things. And then you have the city and the city coming to you going, don't worry about it. We did the study. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. And then there's this social thing too. You're invited to all these parties and stuff. And you're one of the city's elite now and you're being schmoozed. Well, if I say anything against that, they're not going to talk to me at the party and maybe I won't get invited anymore. And all these things, there's that involved in it as well.
But AJ, in 2014, myself and Councillor Vagnini had a meeting with, who was the former councillor, anyhow, he was a former politician in Sudbury. I can't remember his name now. Anyhow, and Andrew, I forget his last name, worked for oh shoot, my memory's going blank on me. Anyhow,
that's okay.
Regarding the True North Strong Arena Event Center on the Kingsway. And at the end of the meeting, I said, okay, where is your market study? Huh? I said, well, where's your market study? Where are you going to get all the funds for this? Oh, well, they hadn't, they didn't have that with them. No, they didn't have it done. Every time this comes up, I've asked where the market study is. No councillor can claim that they weren't aware of a market study. If they are claiming that, then they're sleeping through the day. Okay, so where is the market study? Have you seen one? No, you haven't, because there isn't one. Well, how do you build a venue center for attracting a market when you don't know what the market is?
Well,
Like,
you did allude to the fact that the city is saying that their market, area will be all the way up to like Hudson's Bay and things like that. So they had to have some type of study.
No, they left that to the consultant. PricewaterhouseCooper defined that. They stated in 2017 the market area was from the border of Quebec to the east shore of Lake Superior and from Sudbury to the shore of Hudson Bay, with no tourism indicated from south of Sudbury. That was in 2017. In 2024, Brisbane Brook Bainin did the same statement in their report, identical, and no tourism from south of Sudbury. Didn't any of them clue in that if you're trying to attract tourism, you better be trying to attract tourism from all around, not 950 kilometers away? Now, why didn't they question it? They didn't when they got the reports back from the consultants. The Pricewaterhouse report quoted and included in their report 11 different previous projects. The Brisbane Brook Bainin report included reference to 22 previous projects. That's 33 previous projects. Okay? There was not one single post audit for any of those projects to compare final cost to the original proposed cost. There was not one single GDP results on how that event center affected the community. There was not one benchmarking for any of those projects. What did council think they were supposed to be buying for those studies? You're buying what the financial implications are. That's what you want to know. That's why you hired the company. What's it going to cost? What are the results? They didn't even question it. It never even came up.
Now you sent us the impact of professional sports franchises on venues and local economies. Basically, it was a survey of 130 studies, basically from 1970 to 2020, looking at all of the similar projects in other cities. And basically, I put the whole report into Chat GPT, and I said, make me a one-page summary of this report. It took Chat GPT about 5 minutes to do that. So it was, for Chat GPT, that's a long time. And it was just doing research. And so then I took the one-page thing and I said, make me a concise, grade 6 level just summary of that even. And so I have just the meat and potatoes of it. And this is what it came out. It says many studies have looked at whether building stadiums and having pro sports teams help a city's economy. Researchers found that from 1970 to 2020, state of a city's government spent around $33 billion on big league stadiums and paid about 3/4 of the cost. And they looked at more than 130 studies and saw that stadiums almost never bring lots of new money into a city. Instead, fans mostly spent money they would have spent somewhere else, like on a movie or restaurant. Sometimes places close to the stadium are the ones that can show that they made a little bit extra money, but they're not that much of an increase basically in the overall scheme of things. People who enjoy cheering for a local team, this pride and attention is worth something, but the study says that it adds up to only about 15% of what it costs to build a stadium. Living near a stadium, on the other hand, can bring more noise and traffic, and in suburbs, then often make home prices go down actually when they build a stadium in the suburbs. Though some downtown area... Go ahead.
It left out the fact that crime increases.
Yeah, there also was that as well, that crime can also increase because people kind of gather together. It says big games also cause traffic jams, litter, and sometimes crime. Even with all this evidence, cities still give large subsidies to sports teams. One reason is that team owners and local leaders who want the team to get the most of the benefits while taxpayers pay the bills. Owners can also threaten to move the team to another city if they don't get help. Some people say that the stadium lets the city host concerts and fairs, but even supporters admit these deals often give more money than needed to the teams. So no matter what, the studies show that the teams end up getting the lion's share of whatever because they're able to negotiate it, and taxpayers are footing the bill for it. So that was the grade 6 summary.
Okay. Well, the AI then also missed the fact that when professional sports teams have left cities, the city economics improve.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
in the report as well.
Yeah. Well, there's lots in the report, and I asked it to do a pretty, to boil it down to a couple paragraphs, just so for the show purpose, so people can get the essence of, the report type of thing, right? Because to go through that whole report and and it cites all of the places it got the information from. So it's not just making the stuff up.
Well, let me, if I may, they had 3 major conclusions in the report. The first one was there are no tangible impacts of sports teams and facilities on local economic activity. The second one, no evidence of supporting broad metropolitan level effects exist. Third one, directly observed sports-related economic activity does not produce additional broader economic value in the community. Those are the 3 major conclusions they reached in that report. And that was a condensation and an evaluation of the 130 studies that you talked about. Okay? So there is nothing to be gained from the event center arena. Nothing. Only a penalty. And that was included in the Pricewaterhouse report in 2017. If we had built that at that time, this year, it would be suffering $1 million a year loss. And we would be paying $13 million a year in loan repayment. So our net negative for that event center would have been $14 million a year for 1,160 seats, additional seats. And by the way, hockey has never reached capacity of the existing arena. So we're paying $500 million, $400 million for 1,160 seats. That's about $300 and some thousand per seat, additional seat. For who? Who's going to fill it?
For all those people by the Quebec border and up by James Bay.
They don't even know about it.
They'll be coming for that. But they can go to Costco while they're here. So maybe they just have to do a better job at marketing by Costco while people are coming in, maybe giving a free ticket or something while people are coming in. Then they'll go to the game afterwards, right?
That's a good idea. Right. I've been in Texas where there's an ice rink in the middle of the shopping mall. Now, they don't play hockey in it, but the figure skating club from Houston practices in it. Okay? They don't compete in it, but they practice in it. When you go shopping, you can watch the figure skaters all practicing their figure skating. So maybe Costco should build the new rink.
There you go. Well, it wouldn't be, at least it'd probably get done. And anyways, we'll talk more on this subject as time goes on. That's all the time we got for now, unfortunately, because Earshot Daily is ready to be played on CKLU. Thank you very much, Tom, for being on today. Really appreciate you. You said you're doing a presentation coming up. Where and when is this?
I don't have the dates yet. We'll be doing a series of them. And what our plan is to go each of the outer communities and present the fiasco that they're calling a project, because it is not a project.
So you're bringing the message to the people. And
Yes, sir.
whenever you have those dates and times and places, let us know and we'll let everyone know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. And
I'll turn you
thanks.
back to Bob now.
Okay. And thanks, Bob, for being on this morning. We got to run, so have a great day and just message me and we'll have you on again, just with some more updates on the new project and stuff.
Thank you all. Greatly appreciated.
Okay, thanks. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. Make sure to continue to stay aware, like, share, take care, and have a wonderful and safe what is it today? August the 12th, 2025. Ciao for now, guys. See you tomorrow.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.